Namaste, everyone. Welcome to tonight's the Consciousness Accelerator, especially in honor of this 11/11 portal, which we're in collectively together. So happy to be back online with all of you. It's just going to take me a minute to get back in the swing of technology. Welcome to tonight's the Consciousness Accelerator. One sec. Okay. So it does look like the live stream is up and running, and I just love that. So please go into the chat area on live stream. Please type in your hellos and where you're from, because this really is a wonderful online awakened community, this Consciousness Accelerator community that I'm creating here. And like I said, I've been offline from doing these for 2 months, and technology is not my area of expertise. So when I've been offline and try to come back online, takes me a little bit of time to get used to it all. So if someone could just please type in the live stream chat that the audio and video is good, and I know that the audience is there, that would be great. And I believe I'm also broadcasting on YouTube. So I will be switching over to that platform. I do have a YouTube channel, Julia Desmond on YouTube. I used to post a lot of videos way back in 2012, 2013 about the whole awakening phenomenon. But then I just kind of fell out of the loop with YouTube, and now I'm trying to get back into it. So I will be live streaming a lot more on YouTube, which I'm going to love, and I'm learning about that platform. So right now I'm on live stream and YouTube. And I'll just take a moment, make sure audio and video good. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, everyone. Bonnie and Susie and Jennifer, Tanjay, awesome. Thank you so much for signing in and letting me know that you can see and hear me. I'm just solo here, so this technology world, I find it difficult at times, especially on these huge portal days when there is so much consciousness coming in, so much light is coming in and flowing through, especially when I'm going to be channeling the higher consciousness. That's why I do have difficulty navigating the technology. I'd rather just channel and have someone else do the technology aspect for me. So I do have 2 calls to action before we get started. If someone is a virtual assistant out there, I am looking to hire a virtual assistant to be able to help me with all these platforms and get it all organized. So when I am channeling and doing these transmissions, that's what I can focus on and not on the technology aspect. So just private message me. I love using Telegram. I do have a Telegram group, and you can always private message me on Telegram or private message me on Facebook, or you can email me. My email is juliaoneness@gmail.com. I do prefer Telegram, though, because it's a quicker response time. My second call to action is I'm working on a new course, which I am super excited about. It's called the Consciousness Accelerator course. So that is going to be my new brand. As you can tell, these are what my live stream webinars are going to be about, is the acceleration of consciousness. This is a mini version, but I will be launching an 8-week program after the new year. So in January, February sometime. And so I'm working on that program right now. And the call to action to you right now, if there are any female entrepreneurs out there, I'd like to interview you. Any lady bosses, as I call you. You could be a lady boss of your own life, of your family, of a company, of a healing practice. If you've got a team working under you, that's what I consider a lady boss. And I'm conducting interviews right now just to learn about you and meditation, and maybe your frustrations with meditation, the misperceptions of meditation. And it's just a quick interview, 15 to 20 minutes, and I'll just connect with you on Zoom. But I really am enjoying this research phase of my project, because I'm connecting with so many people, especially in this day and age of isolation and social distancing. It's really nice to connect on Zoom with new people and have a 20-minute conversation about female entrepreneurs and meditation. And it remains all anonymous. I don't use your name or anything. It's just for me to conduct research with as many people out there to learn what a person like you, the issues that you've had with meditation or that you would love to see in a meditation practice and things like that. So again, private message me on Facebook, Telegram, or my email is juliaoneness@gmail.com. I'm conducting these interviews all the time. And we'll just do it on Zoom. So would love to hear from you, and yeah, just connect with me. So that'd be great. Okay, so just taking a moment. Saying hi to Bonnie, Susie, Jennifer Klein, Tanjay, Paula, nice to see you. Laura, audio's good. Dimitri, nice to see you. Wonderful, you're from San Francisco. Charles, Kenny, Sandy B, Sandra Gord. Oh, Sandra Gord, back from surgery. Welcome back, Sandra Gord. She has gone through the portal herself. She's had many surgeries, and I love seeing her pop up. I just talked to her a few days ago, so I know she's doing well. But anyways, connect with Sandra Gord on Facebook. She has done so much work for this awakening, for Colorado Oneness Movement and the whole planet. So it's good to see everyone back. I know everyone's going through it right now. There's not one person who is not going through it, whether it's physical shifts, transitions, whether it's a location shift, a relationship shift, financial shift, career shift. We're going through it. But the cool thing is when we can accelerate our consciousness and jump on board of that wave of a higher state of consciousness, we can actually enjoy it. Yes, it is an opportunity for growth. Anytime a painful situation or a sudden change or a sudden situation comes up, it is an opportunity for growth. Yes, we do have to get through it. It can be a lot of physical pain. Trust me, I've experienced that lately with some physical things that I'm going through. So yeah, it's painful in this outer world, in this physical incarnation. So hats off to all of you. I know everyone's going through it, and that is what brings us into that unified field of consciousness because it lends us compassion. Today is the 1111 portal. It is unity. We are in this huge, massive portal of higher states of consciousness. And the journey of awakening and shifting into that accelerated consciousness is an inward journey. So I know the U.S. especially has gone through a lot the past week. So I really just encourage everyone to go into your own process. There's no finger pointing here in the awakening journey. So if we're experiencing division, that is an inner state of consciousness. If we're experiencing any type of anger, frustration, pointing fingers, that type of division is your own inner state of consciousness. So we can never look at the outer world and point the finger out there and blame, because that's not what this life or this reality is about. It's all about our inner journey and our inner state of consciousness, seeing where we are. This is where we're going to start tonight. Where are we right here, right now? And I encourage you to be as authentic in the inner world as possible. Nobody's judging you. There isn't some higher being judging you saying, oh, you should be in peace and joy right now, but you're not, so you're condemned. That's not it at all. We are having a very human experience right now. We can all agree to that, especially here in USA with the past election and everything that's going on. This is the very human experience we're going through. This is the very third dimensional aspect of being in human form. So I encourage everyone to just, as I'm going through this awakened conversation, recognize where you are residing. Whether you're in your heart or in your head, if you're anxious, if you're worried, if you're in the past or the present, that's just a state of consciousness, and tonight we'll shift out of that and into a much higher state. So if you're new to this program, the first part is this awakened conversation. I'll be giving the energy updates and talking about the collective shift that's happening within humanity. But then halfway through, we'll go into a very beautiful meditation. We'll access that present moment, and we'll receive a very powerful transmission of divine grace called the Supreme Light of Supreme Love Meditation. So wherever we're starting with today or right now, within this state of consciousness, by the end of this program or transmission, you'll be shifted into a much higher state. And if we can stay in these high states throughout the days and the weeks to come, trust me, you're going to be a beacon of light for everyone around you. So, yes, we're in this 1111 portal. There's so much amazing meditations happening all around the world. Whatever timeline you're tuning in, or just keep doing it, because really humanity is in a huge shift right now. We know that. And our one and only role and goal is to A, be very self-aware of our own inner state, and B, be very active to shift us into a higher state. So we have the tools, we have the access, we have the divine grace. We have so much online that we can do for free to help us tap into communities and to shift into much higher states of consciousness. So we really do have a job. I take my job very seriously, which is being this warrior of light and transmitting light and channeling the higher states of consciousness through me, this oneness consciousness, and helping others around. But trust me, I fall into the same traps that we all fall into as humans. We are human beings after all. So we are in this matrix. This third dimensional body of ours is in the matrix. And that's what is important to remember. But what is ultra important to remember is we have this incredible high state of consciousness that we can just witness this whole game or simulation that we're actually in. And we can reside so much higher than the matrix. Rise above the matrix. This is the one thing I want everyone to be very, very conscious of, is that we have the ability to rise above the matrix. Be very aware of the matrix, of course, but rise above it. And you need a shift in consciousness to do this. And so we'll be working on this shift tonight, as we always do. And I know so many of you are constantly working on that shift and shifting into a higher state as much as possible. This is a journey. The shift of awakening obviously is the first step. Once you have received that initial shift of awakening where the self is declutched from the mind, then we can really go into that witness consciousness, that observer mode, and continue to reside in that witness consciousness. And when you do that and make that your personal sadhana throughout the day or personal practice, that gap gets wider and wider. And the more light and the more higher consciousness that you bring in through yourself, through the chakras and all of the things that you're doing, then you're really radiating the light out. And so again, wherever we start with today and here and now, we're going to shift through that. So if you're feeling discombobulated, scattered, or that you're not here, like here, just know that's just a symptom of all these different timelines happening at the same time. We have the human timeline, the human collective. We have the spiritual collective. We have the galactic collective timeline. So we have so many different timelines. And if you're a dimension hopper or player in all these different timelines, you're going to feel scattered. So if today, especially if you're feeling scattered, it's okay. When we go into the breath awareness and the present moment, bringing in the presence, you'll definitely arrive in that higher dimensional field of consciousness, which is where ultimately you should arrive, because that is where your presence and your focus should be. The one thing that came through my writings from the one, the channelings that came through, is your focus equals your frequency. So again, take this in. Your focus equals your frequency. So as humans, we are so powerful. And again, this has been removed from our educational systems. We know that. Our co-creative process is one of the most powerful gifts that a human has. And our focus in consciousness and in anything that we're focusing on, that will bring that into our awareness, but that equals our vibration too. So really recognize, use this as a personal sadhana the next week. If you're focusing on a lower vibrational timeline, anytime you flick on that television and whatever's blaring through, that is a specific reality that is being brought through to lower a person's vibration. We know that. We know that the news stations, the televisions, that is a certain timeline. And it's okay. These all coexist at the same time. And just know, though, if it's drawing in your attention and your consciousness and your brain waves, it is affecting your vibration. Pure and simple. Everything that we're doing affects our vibration. What we eat, how we live our life. But with this broadcast, I really want you to be aware of what you're focusing on is creating your vibration, your frequency. So, and it's okay if there are times when you do flick on the news and just catch yourself and be very in that observer witness role of how quickly your energy can drop if you are watching the news. Just recognize and rise above that. That's what I'm saying, rise above the matrix, because ultimately you'll flick it off. Or B, you'll just be in that observer role and actually see how your energy is sinking and you're actually believing the timelines that is being projected. So if we can look at this as a simulation, I don't want to call it a game because as a human, we have so much going on and a game sort of belittles it until you've reached that point where you can really see it as a simulation. I don't like to use that word as a game. It's a simulation because we're having a very human experience. We have very real emotions. We have a heart that feels things. If we're incredibly sensitive, as I am, I pick up the energies of so much around me. And again, that can be painful. So this is a simulation, and I like to use that word because simulation means you're going to be experiencing a lot of things. It can be pain, it can be joy, it can be high states, it can be low states. But this is the human simulation. And this is one timeline that we're experiencing right now. We're in human form. Excuse me, I need some water. So that is one timeline that we are experiencing, but really is being projected onto humans' collective consciousness right now. This third dimensional, lower state of vibration, of division, of you name it. I don't want to get into it. You know it. You live here in USA. You know what's going on. So just recognize where your focus is. Is it in this human experience of these things that are happening, of the division? Is that where your focus is? Because that equals your frequency. And it's okay. Just train yourself. If you're getting too caught up into it, if you're scrolling Facebook and getting angry at your friends for having a different opinion of you, then you know that the matrix is affecting you in a negative way. And again, just this is self-awareness. So the best thing, if you're finding yourself reactive right now, turn off the news, turn off your Facebook feed, only follow the high vibrational things that actually bring the higher consciousness together. Any sort of division that anyone is feeling is simply a disconnection from source. And so again, we'll connect very powerfully to source presence tonight. So anything that's being projected, and that will lend you compassion, because if you do see someone who actually is in major division, just know that they're completely separated from source. And that actually lends a compassionate, awakened heart. So try to strive to be in that state of consciousness where you recognize that. You can see it in yourself. You can see it in your family members. You can see it in your community members. Wherever there's division and someone's actively promoting that division, they're simply disconnected from source. And this is every human's experience, is being disconnected from source, going through life, and then bringing the source presence back into their life. I know my whole life I was seeking that source connection, and then oneness came into my life, gosh, was it 15 years ago? The minute I experienced that source connection again, I knew that that is what I had been missing my whole life and what I had been searching for. So it's extremely important to tap into that source intelligence every day. The presence, the universal consciousness, especially those of us that have been on this journey for a long time, bring it in, because then you will be in that unified field and you will rise above the matrix. The second sort of timeline that's happening right now is the spiritual side, the light versus the dark. Again, there's a huge shift that's happening. So maybe you aren't really focused on the human drama, which is great. You've risen above it. That's what I say. You've risen above the matrix. You can take the human drama for what it is. You can help out others shift into a higher state. But maybe you're more focused on the spiritual side, which is really cool. There is still a light and dark situation happening in that type of timeline. And so you're bringing in the light into your own life as an individual, awakening from that dark state of consciousness into the high state. But you can also see how within humanity, there's a spiritual crisis happening now. We can all agree to that. Whether we're focused on it or not, we can all agree there's a spiritual crisis. You've seen it in yourself. You've seen it in yourself maybe the last decade or so. Maybe you've risen above that, which is the ultimate goal, is to be beyond that spiritual crisis and bring that source consciousness back into you. Because again, that lends compassion to help out others around you. So then, again, there's a whole other timeline. There's this galactic timeline, this galactic consciousness, which is the much higher timeline. I don't mean higher as in good or bad. It's just a higher level of awareness. And there is a consciousness revolution happening. And there actually is a fight over people's consciousness. And you must be aware of that because this has been happening for generations upon generations. And right now, we really have the opportunity to become sovereign beings. Up until this point, we've been slaves. We have. This is no news to anybody. We have been slaves within our consciousness. And of course, within the physical form, especially here in the U.S. with taxes and all that stuff and credit card interest and just being a slave to the system, we've all been there. So the really cool thing right now is becoming unplugged from all of that. And this is what equals becoming a sovereign being. And this takes a high state of consciousness. So it is an experience. And that's why this journey in consciousness is a daily journey. And how lucky are we that we get to take this journey and we get to reside in this high state and navigate the simulation. There's some days you might just be in the human drama, and that's okay. But just remember this conversation that you're just experiencing the human drama within the simulation, and you can rise above that. And that's where that witness observation clicks in and say, oh, just in a really low state, things are being projected to me, and it's affecting me. So then you take yourself into a higher state, and then you can work on the spiritual level, or you could work on the galactic level, the cosmos level, and just have fun with it, because that is the most powerful gift of a human, is that our focus equals our frequency. And trust me, the dark agenda knows that and has manipulated this from mankind for generations and generations, and even now they know they can manipulate your focus. They can steal your consciousness, your energy, and utilize it for their own agenda. But the really cool thing is how empowered all of us are now and snapping out of that and rising above the matrix. But it does take that shift in consciousness. So please do the things that help you shift. Continue to receive those high states of consciousness from whatever programs you're doing. Do it, for sure. Do the physical work that your body likes to reside in that high state, whether it's Kundalini yoga, or breath work, amazing breath work, Ananda Mandala, that breath of fire. So these are all really powerful ways on a daily level to take you into that high state of consciousness, to support you shifting into that high state, because our body is in this shift as much as our consciousness is as well. And so there's a ton of integration happening. Today is incredibly powerful, and we're just opening up, leading into the winter solstice, which is 12/21, and then leading into the new year. So 2020, we can all agree, has been just a shocker in so many ways, but so necessary. So whatever you're going through, I honor it, because everybody is going through things, transitions. I myself, I have to go through some health issues right now. But that's okay. We just ride it out. And when we go through those things, we come out at a much higher vibration. So anything that you're going through, it's a purge. And whether it's a health thing or a relationship thing or career thing, just know whatever transition you're going through, it's awesome. Because you have this high state of consciousness. You can ride it out. You can be kind on yourself and know that not every day you're going to feel from that highest energy, and that's fine. But we can tap into source intelligence which for me is a savior, and which is what I came into this third dimensional life to actually bring back into my life, is that source connection. So we can all agree that we were born into this human simulation, and throughout our teens and early adulthoods, we got disconnected from source. And maybe we did other things to try to get connected again. But ultimately that didn't work. It was just a cover-up for how disconnected you were. And I'm talking alcohol, drugs, you name it, any sort of addiction. We tried to get connected to that feeling. Didn't work because that isn't the ultimate source. But then ultimately it drove us to get connected to source consciousness, which is what we're all connected to, and which is what flows through us, and we can flow through this shift. We can help out others. We can help out ourselves, first and foremost. What we're giving ourselves is so important right now. So if you need to take time to integrate all these energies, do. You know, we're entering in this holiday season. Do not overdo it. That is my one and only advice. You need to integrate all this. You need to take that pregnant pause for yourself because of everything that's already happened, but there's so much more that is going to come through. But when you're in that high state of consciousness, you can handle anything. And that is the guarantee. And even when you think you can't, you can. So just constantly shift into that high state, always, 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 and tap into source consciousness. That is the golden ticket right now and always. And next year will be easier. I know that because this year is the topper. We're at the top of all the shifts and all the paradigm shifting and so much. And it's all about the light coming in and within our own lives, our own programmings, our own unconsciousness to shift into that higher state. But humanity's at large. So if you're exhausted, I hear you. If you're scattered, I hear you. If you're discombobulated, I hear you. If you don't know what you're supposed to be doing with your life, I hear you. That is the human experience. But do take the time to tap into that present moment. And this meditation that we're going to get into will really help out. So I'm just going to take a pause. And let's try to get to the chat. If you do have any questions to help out with this acceleration in consciousness, do ask your question. If you'd like to share an experience too, I'll read it out. So I'll just wait a few minutes. It does take a few minutes for the questions to pop up on live stream because there is a bit of a time lag. So let me just see. Okay. So I think Bruce Miller, and I apologize, I'm having difficulty reading this, but it says, you said we have the end of the Dark Age, the Kali Yuga, and the start of the Golden Age, Satya Yuga, happening. The election seems to me a perfect reflection with low energy trying to something, utterly hold on. Well, just the old paradigms are leaving us. So even with the election, how it's, the process behind it is being shifted. So it's not about the outcome. Please know that. Please rise above that. But there is a major issue with the process here in USA. And that is what the light is coming in and shifting. So be prepared for being surprised. We might even have a whole new election in 120 days. You never know. So my stance is the whole system is being broken down. I don't care who someone voted for. Rise above that. What I care about is the integrity that's coming in to USA. Into and through USA right now because everyone's looking at USA. So the cool thing is light is coming in to break apart the whole system. And that's what 2020 is about. So enjoy it. It's not about this person, that person. It's not about division. So please know, be in that unified field of consciousness and rise above it. So the whole system is broken and has been broken in so much of our society. So this is what's exciting because I firmly believe we're not going to have to go through this again, this type of situation again, as far as 2020. I do feel that we will be on an upswing once we get through all of this, which will be into next year. We'll be on the upswing of clearing out all of the systems that didn't work or were based on the old or the 3D. So yes, as we shift from the dark ages into the golden age, every system is being shifted, which is awesome because this world has been run on a dark agenda for thousands of years. And how great would it be if you and me and all of this, the light workers, the light warriors, truly equal sovereign beings and can live in their sovereignty. And everyone can be free. So that's the main goal. That is the main goal. So, okay, so I am having difficulty reading some of these. Jennifer Klein said, wow, that was great. You were in the zone. Okay. I don't know what that means, but if you want to clarify or what context we're talking about, please do. Because, yes, I'm definitely channeling. And so then when I look at the chats, I don't know sometimes what context is happening. So, yeah, let's have fun with this. Let's have fun as the warriors of light because this is a simulation. And yes to the light. Awesome. Your light is your best friend. The source intelligence is your best friend. It is your soulmate. It is your lover. It is your partner. It is your business partner. So really bring in that source energy. And we're going to start the meditation soon. I'm sure you can hear my dogs in the background. As always, I have a circus around me of all of my lovely dogs. And come on out to Needle Rock. We are there. We've been having so much fun out there. The weather here has been incredible in Colorado. We just shifted into winter feeling, but we have had incredible weather the past couple months, and that's why I've been offline. I've been really physical at Needle Rock. We've been doing tons of work, had tons of visitors, people, meditations out there. So it was nice to kind of be offline the past couple months. So I'm just going to let my dogs out. 1 sec. Okay, so I'm back. So yeah, please know at Needle Rock we have so much acreage and land that it is very easy to social distance, so we don't have any worries on that front. You can wear your mask. You can come out and meditate and shift into higher states of consciousness. We'll probably be doing more physical, in-person programs after the new year. I still am contemplating maybe something around the new year, but I don't think I'll take on that task right now of organizing and doing all that. So I'll be doing lots of things on YouTube, Zoom, and live stream so we can connect that way. It just seems easier for everyone to be present and grounded where you are, in your homes. And we can connect like this. So that seems to be the universal call, is being grounded at home within your communities. Oh, and that will be my last kind of insight as to what is going on as far as these stay-at-home orders. What is the bigger galactic view? Is that you, as the warrior of light, it's very important that you're grounded where you are. And I know people are moving locations, and your higher self is moving you. If that is your experience right now, where you have to move, each one of us is where we're meant to be right now. Because this time frame is so critically important, you need to be grounded where you are. I know for me, we're in Colorado, and we're here. And it's to generate this very powerful stabilizing factor for this collective, for the grid, this grid of consciousness. And years ago, it would have been great to live overseas or not be in USA, but I've always known my role is in USA for these times to be the stabilizing factor. USA needs as many powerful light warriors here on the ground, connecting with the land of USA. So I know many of you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you want to take an exodus from USA years ago, or I don't know. I mean, I certainly have considered that. That would have been fabulous to go, live in an exotic locale. But my higher self has kept me here, has made us or helped us found Needle Rock Meditation Sanctuary and just be a grounding force here, because it does matter where you are. And now more than ever, and that is the galactic consciousness of your higher self coming through and putting you exactly where you are. And that's cool. So please don't feel like you're stuck. Even though that might be the human experience that you're feeling stuck or not, really enjoy where you are, because you have a purpose. And I know you've seen the image of all of us as the warriors of light holding the whole grid of consciousness together. That's really what we're doing. But we're also connecting with the land and Mother Earth and Gaia below us, because that is equally as important. So right now it's really important to be grounded where you are. Whatever your living situation is, if you're feeling that this is where you're at, I know this is where we're at here. We're not going anywhere for a while. And it feels really good, actually. It's like, oh, finally, I don't feel like I need to go anywhere, because this is where my higher consciousness needs to be, coming through the physical form. So I hope that came through clearly. Just know wherever you are is where you're exactly supposed to be. And if you are finding you're shifting your locale, that's because you need to be in that locale, bringing in that light. And once you do get planted with your feet on the ground, really ground. Bring in that present moment into your body and really ground into your body where you are. That is such an important part of this shift, is having that human experience. So, hope that helps out. I know it helps out with me as well. Susie has asked, do you have a YouTube? Yes, I'm on YouTube. It's just under my name, Julia Desmond. I think I'm simulcasting on YouTube right now. I'll have to check later. But in the future, I will be doing more of my transmissions through YouTube and kind of switch to that platform. I don't know that platform very well, so that's why I don't have the nerve yet to fully jump over there, because I don't know what I'm doing on that, unless someone can come in and help me. But I like live stream because I've been doing it for so long, and I can just do it, and I feel comfortable that the technology works. But yeah, in the next couple weeks, especially within the next couple months, my platform will be fully on YouTube. And who knows, maybe I'll try it next week and just be on YouTube. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so Bridget has asked, please expound a little more on what you mean by grounded. Well, I mean bringing that presence into your body, into your physical body, and actually being grounded in this physical simulation. That's what I mean. So the mind will always try to have you escape. I know, at least in USA, or at least in my state right now, they're doing more like lockdown type stuff. And instead of being resistant to it, welcome it, because there is a reason why you're meant to be grounded here and now, especially through the holidays, the next couple months. That's what I mean about being grounded. There's two ways to look at the outer world with the higher restrictions coming back in. I know in Colorado, more restrictions are coming back in. But that's okay. Because we're meant to be grounded. We're meant to really have that time and energy to be grounded in our physical body and our physical location to bring in that higher states of consciousness. So that's why I've said, leading up to these holidays, do not overdo it. Please give yourself the time, the space, the pregnant pause to bring in these high states of consciousness. Because the next 2 months are vital, especially here in USA. So that's what I mean about being grounded. So Julie has said, hello from Mercer, Wisconsin. I'm grounded here. I love Wisconsin. As you know, I'm from there. So you have said, I felt the same way. I'm always missing Colorado, yet know that I need to hold the space here in Wisconsin. Absolutely. Yeah. And how cool is it that we have the technology to connect through all these various locales? Yeah, there's lots of places I'd love to be right now. But I'm actually very happy and very grounded knowing that I'm meant to be right here, right now. And we're not going anywhere for a while. So really embody that and welcome that. There is a higher purpose for everything that's happening. So just recognize that. Okay, good, Bridget. So it looks like I addressed your question. Okay, so with these energies, as always, it's so easy to get dehydrated. Okay, so let's go into the meditation aspect. Let's bring in these higher states of consciousness. Let's really tap into this unified field of consciousness. Get into the present moment. So I will lead this, as I always do. If you're regulars with me, it will be the same, where we'll do the pranayama, really invoke the presence to consume us, the presence and the higher states of consciousness. When we bring that in, we're in the now moment. And we can embody that. And then I'll move into the Supreme Light of Supreme Love meditation, which is that transfer of divine grace through my eyes. And that will help shift. And it will help activate your kundalini. It will help activate your chakras. But it will also help you shift into that higher state of consciousness as a support system as you go on throughout the next couple days or this week until we meet again. I do promise I will be up and going weekly again. So that is my promise. I do like Wednesday nights. That seems to be a nice time frame to all connect. Okay, so let's get into our nice meditative posture. So just take a minute to get comfortable. I do like cross-legged posture, but if you need to have your legs straight down on the chair, that's fine too. Most important is having a straight back. Do not lie down for this, please. Please stay in a very nice straight spine. A, it brings you energy. B, we're doing pranayama. C, we're working with kundalini. So we need to have a nice straight spine. Lift up your shoulders, roll them back. You can also place a nice cushion under your butt to prop you up a little. It helps with that spinal shift. So again, you can use a meditation pillow or just any cushion to prop you up a little bit. And gently sink in to your posture. You can have your hands in prayer pose in front of your heart. Very powerful mudra. And you can gently close your eyes. And we can start on this pranayama. In and out through your nostrils. And you will exhale twice as long as you inhale. So you can start with the count. 3 count in, 6 count out. It's important to have that double count out because that will really take you into the present moment. So we can start, and I'll keep track of the time. And really enjoy this pranayama. When you bring in the breath with the inhale, bring in the golden light of divine consciousness. Have it come in your nostrils, circle your whole body, and energize your cells. With each exhale, exhale that same golden light back out to the planet. And again, with each inhale, each of your cells, your billions of cells, will get illuminated with that divine light. With each exhale, exhale and relax your seated position and sink deeper into Mother Earth's energy below you. And now place your right hand on your heart, your left hand over your right hand. Bring that golden breath into your heart and watch it expand with golden light. And take 2 more deep inhales, deep exhales into your heart space. With your final slow exhale, you can start to bring your breath back to normal. But keep that deep awareness in your heart space by keeping your right hand on your heart, your left hand over your right hand. And now very powerfully invoke the presence to fill you up, the divine consciousness to fill up every single cell, tissue, and fiber of your being. Ask to be flooded with divine grace. Have it pour through you, your whole energy and body system. Now, this is a very beautiful and grounded state of consciousness because you're in your body, but you now have that divine communion flowing through you. Source intelligence is flowing through you, and you have access to that source intelligence. Source intelligence is your best friend. It's your companion, your life partner, your lover, your business partner. And from this very beautiful, elevated state of consciousness, now just reflect in your heart how you've been the past week. Just be honest. In your heart. Nobody's judging you. Just have that honest conversation. The challenges that you may have been having. The low states of consciousness you may have been having. The low frequency, the low vibration. Just recognize it. Recognize that it's okay. We've all been through a lot as the human collective together, especially here in USA. We all are brothers and sisters here, everybody. We are all bonded in this unified field of consciousness in your heart. You can feel it now. There is no division. The only division was within our own state of consciousness. So as we link up to and become one in this oneness consciousness, we're in a higher state. And just reflect on that teaching that your focus equals your frequency. Just recognize how powerful of a creator you are, not from an egoic standpoint, but from a source intelligence standpoint. What you focus on, you create. What you focus on, you're creating your frequency. So know that. And so now we'll state our own prayer in our heart. We'll state the group collective prayer for tonight's shift in consciousness. We ask for a very powerful shift into this unified field so that we feel unified with our brothers and sisters here through this whole human simulation. So that's the group intention for tonight's meditation. that we receive a permanent shift into this unified field of oneness, and that we can reside in a high state throughout this next week and coming weeks. So now state your personal prayer as well. It can be for anything in your life. Anything you're struggling with or having challenges, just state the prayer in your heart. And now release all these prayers with a nice deep exhale. You have been heard. We are in this divine unified field of consciousness. You have been heard. So just release your prayers, release your hands. Take a few deep inhales, deep exhales. Relax. And in your heart, we will keep that collective prayer together of humanity rising into the golden age. Golden age consciousness descending into humanity and all of our beautiful inhabitants, supporting everybody. So keep that deep awareness in your heart of this vision. And I do have to stop and start the live stream channel. So whatever you have to do on your end to start it back up, please do. But the Supreme Light of Supreme Love meditation will get started in the next minute or so.